Many congratulations. Where does that rank in your sort of personal Hall of Fame?
Yeah, honestly, it must rank really, really high. I think the level out there today was really high level tennis. I think it was some of the best tennis I've played. I think Deanne challenges players and myself in ways that you're not used to on this surface. You know, she makes you play really difficult shots, put the ball in very awkward places. So it's not as straightforward as big hitting tennis. It's a lot more crafty, and I think, yeah, the way I was able to handle it, the way I was able to move the ball around and keep striking and recover from the third set, I'm very, very pleased.
Obviously, you played extremely well in the, to get up 5-2 in the third set, and then she was coming back. Just how did you, find a way to, I guess, reset and close it out in the end?
Yeah, I think I was up 5-2 and serving for it. I mean, the crowd, I don't know how much you can tell from the TV, but it's live. I mean, you're in the stadium. It was pretty incredible, like the sound. I think, especially because it's such an enclosed space, everything feels so much louder. And I think, luckily, I have good practice. I mean, playing on Arthur Ashe was a similar thing, honestly, especially when they're all against you. So I honestly wasn't fazed about the crowd and the sound. I think that doesn't really bother me, which is probably one of my strengths. But I knew that going up 5-2, I was striking it, I was hitting the ball into the corners, I was going for my shots, and that was how I got up. So I wasn't going to start pushing the ball around, it was just about executing. So I just refocused, 2 break points down at 5-all. I pulled out a great ace, and she missed her return, and that was a huge hold. And then in the breaker, I played amazing, to be honest. Yeah.
You talked before about like some of the challenges of being an individual in the tour. Would it be fair to say this is maybe one of the most enjoyable things you've done since that US Open win, in terms of the practice time, the team spirit, the occasion here, and the clay court practice as well?
Yeah, I think the team this week was a really great mix. It was very different characters all meshed into one. I think we had some really amazing upbeat energy from Fran, who really brought it every day. Then Heather was just...
Sorry to interrupt. Are you not going to talk about Tuscany?
Yeah. No, because the headlines that will make. Me and Fran are going to Tuscany, and that was the running joke of the week. So when we celebrated... Yeah, so when we celebrated at the end, we shouted Tuscany, and the rest of them are invited to our little weekend in Tuscany as well. So, yeah, it was a great week with everyone, and Heather's obviously super experienced, brought amazing energy on the side, Harriet as well, and Bolt's just recovering from yesterday. It was really good to go out there and just know that, okay, worst case scenario, it's 2-all and a deciding doubles, but obviously can't forget Anne, and she's been great on the bench, just being an amazing captain, keeping a straight face. We were just talking about it when I missed those match points. But I think also shout out to everyone in the behind the scenes, because they've been working around the clock to just keep us healthy, keep us fit, and keep us entertained, and just good energy around.
And how do you think this whole experience might help you individually moving forward? Yeah,
for me, I think my last Fed Cup tie was in Czech 2 years ago. I think it's great to see how far I've come on a lot of notes. Tennis-wise, I've for sure improved, because I feel like I'm playing some of the best tennis of my career and my life. So I'm very pleased with that. And then also just emotionally and mentally, I think to come through the moments that I did the last 2 days was very... It took a lot of strong character, and especially when the entire stadium is pretty much against you, except we had the Brits, which I was very happy to hear, but it was tough. The French are so loud and so rowdy and booing everything. Honestly, it was tough to play in front of, but yeah, I think for myself, I can just take a lot of positivity, and I really enjoyed this week.
Why are you going to Tuscany?
I'm not going to say, but we really had a great time. She's a great friend of mine now. I didn't really spend much time with her beforehand, but yeah, I think it's just going to be like a little girls trip, and the team. to Tuscany.
In some time, or not like right away?
Anne's just landed me in it right now. Thanks, Anne.
It's on hold.
It's on. Nah, just good girls' holiday at the end of the season after the finals.
Yeah. Can you tell us about the message that you sent to Katie overnight? She mentioned it. She spoke about how it had inspired her.
Yeah, I think after yesterday, it's obviously tough, you know, playing Deanne, and she's playing some amazing tennis. I think when I went on today, I really understood, like, okay, that's how the score happened. She played really, really well, and I think if I was able to deal with the low backhand slice, I think that was a really key factor today. I knew exactly what to do because I think I was prepared from yesterday. I got fed all the information from her and the team, but yeah, I basically just told her, look, like, head up, you know, tomorrow's a new day, we're 1-1, we're not 2 love down, it's a fresh start. There's no difference from starting how we started Friday. It's all to play for today, and then I also said, look, if anyone's going to bring it home, it's going to be us today, because I knew we were both playing. So I think that hopefully helped, and yeah, I know Katie loves playing Fed Cup, and yeah, it was a huge help having her win that first time.
Just on what you did from the match points to the end, has mental strength always been one of your strengths? And is it like a coldness in those moments? Is that what you need?
It has been one of my strengths, and I think that in the matches that I've lost, it's probably not been there 100%, honestly. So I think that just to be able to show that again was a really good thing for me to take personally. I know that when I'm like out there competing like I did today, and that's when I'm at my most dangerous. And I think honestly, the ones that I've lost, there probably hasn't been all there for the whole time like I have been this weekend. So it obviously takes a lot out of you to do that physically and emotionally. But I'm very pleased that I was able to do that this weekend, and I know, like, okay, that's how it's got to be from now on if I'm gonna be playing matches like that level.
And is it Ian Prangley? You mentioned Ian.
No. Ian Aylward. He's been
Ian Aylward.
training me and all the girls at the LTA at the NTC. So yeah, he's not here this week, but he's been doing a lot of work with all of us, not just me.
You mentioned on court that some people don't fancy British players on clay. I'm curious, how would you describe your relationship with the surface now after this, these last 2 matches, and I guess what you've learned from yourself on clay?
Yeah, I'm actually enjoying it. It's like, when you're not so sure about something at the start, and then the more you kind of try and make yourself like it, I guess, the more you start actually liking it. And I'm honestly really enjoying it. I feel like my movement has always been a strength on this surface. It was more just my patience and my fitness to stay in the long rallies and build the points. And that's something that I have a lot better now. I'm able to generate from deeper behind the baseline, so I don't feel like I have to rush the points. And feel like I'm developing more options. I can play fast, but I can also make the ball and build from the back heavy. So yeah, it's definitely a budding relationship.
Anne, you've had some nice experiences as captain. I just wondered where this ranks. I guess not in terms of the shock factor, but to win away on clay in France must be one of your best achievements.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the odds were stacked against us coming into this tie, and we knew we were the underdogs and it was going to be a huge challenge, and it was going to require some incredible performances. But both Emma and Katie delivered, and I couldn't be prouder of them both. I mean, they really left it all out there, and there was some spectacular tennis. And yesterday, Emma's match against Garcia, how she came back from a set down, the quality of the tennis that Emma produced yesterday, and Garcia, was quite something, sitting and watching. And today as well against Parry. And, Katie as well, when you win the opening couple of games and then lose 12 on the trot, to then come back and do what she did today when there was uncertainty over who she was going to play. It was only half an hour before the match that we preparing her to play Garcia, and then half an hour before we were notified it was Burrell. So, really proud of Katie, the way she was able to adapt and approach the match and play tennis on her terms today.
So just checking that, half an hour seems shorter than what it usually would be, or
was it 20 minutes? It was half an hour. So half an hour before the match, you
Right.
can make a change
Well, okay.
to the
think
first
Davis
match
Cup
of
in
the day. And then you've got 20 minutes in between singles, and you've got 10 minutes, basically, to make a decision to change.
Cool.
So, yeah, it doesn't give you much time.
What was going on in your kind of stomach during the final few games?
The final few games. Well, I mean, look, it was just, as Emma's already touched on as we were walking here, we were saying, the challenge, I think, for any captain or anyone on the side of the court for coaches is to maintain a straight face in times of trouble. The last thing you want to do is, show any kind of disappointment when they're busting their ass out there, and it's like you do what you can to try and help up and support and give positive vibes. But Emma was in a bubble. I mean, I think you could see that from the way she approached each point, and as loud as the crowd were, as tough as everything was out there, she handled herself incredibly well and showed so much grit and determination. And when she's in that zone, I'm sure she won't mind me talking about it besides, but when she's in that zone, there's very little for me to say, at the change of ends, and it's just reinforcing the things we've already spoken about and touched on, and tactically just a few reminders. But a player of her level, of her class, she knows what she's doing, and you can see when she's in control, and despite not converting on the first few match points, the way she was able to regroup was just, I mean, it blows my mind, the way she hit that ace break point down, and then the way she went about that tiebreaker and did everything on her terms. I mean, just too good.
And could you just say something about the kind of historical significance? We figure that 1990 would have been the last time when we lost to Austria in quarterfinals, would have been like last 8, and then maybe 1981 would have been the last time we beat a Grand Slam
In terms
nation.
of qualifying, because obviously 2022 got in as a wild card.
Yeah.
So in terms of actually getting there by right.
Yeah, and I mean that was kind of mentioned to the players and the staff, as we were because a few of our team members have already gone because they've got tournaments to get to. But certainly in my time as captain, as player, for as long as I've kind of followed this competition, this feels like a huge kind of milestone to be able to earn your spot in the finals. As one of the very best teams, I've always believed we've got players who are capable of playing at the highest level in this competition, and to finally to have been able to achieve that this week is quite something, and I'm not going to forget this in a hurry. But I said to the players, they've got a lot of work to do a lot of winning to do between now and November, look, everyone wants to be part of this team again, which for me as captain is, a great place to be.
Last question.
This is very specific, but you hit quite a few of those forehand drop shots. That's like short slices, like angled slices. I'm curious if that's something you practice, or do you find yourself trying new things and just seeing how they go?
I think I decided that the second set against Parry was a good time to just try it. So I think I practiced it as the match went on, I guess. I knew that when I was hitting the ball through into the corners, she was dealing with it really well and giving up quite a lot of court position. And I think in the first set I was getting caught a little bit over pressing sometimes, and there was a lot of space forwards, and there were a few that I didn't hit fully well, like I didn't execute them great, and she had an easy shot, but I also got rewarded for it when I did. And I think it's something just to keep her honest, so she didn't really know if I was going to go big or going to go short, and that just destabilizes the opponent and makes it difficult for them.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.